Hi everyone, welcome to another video of Newfoundland Diary. This is Kesia here in Newfoundland with another video. If you're watching me for the very first time, I'm Kesia Sebastian from Newfoundland, Labrador, Canada. I've been living here for last 3 years and been doing some videos related to life in Canada, some immigration news and some really informative videos. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the like button.
Hey guys, this is the second part of last video I did. So please watch the previous part, know about the other topics I discussed, and consider watching this video to the end, and there would be another last part coming soon.
So the next big shock would be around job opportunities. Most of the people think that Canadian job market are really huge. Yes, they are. But being a new immigrant, the case would be different. It may be as shocking as you land in. Getting a job in your same profession that you've been working with the same standards or with same designation is really difficult here in Canada, even across the country, I would say. And it is very hard in our province, like Atlantic provinces, compared to the bigger cities. For example, the professions like doctors, dentists, engineers, accounting professionals, like mostly for all the regulated jobs. So if you are not sure about if your profession is in regulated jobs, please do watch this video that I made earlier. So by this, you will be able to know if your profession is regulated. If you are regulated, what are the related jobs that you can search as you land. So if your job is in regulated job, you may need to do some licensing or certifications, which requires return exams with or without classes. So if you go for classes, it may be even more expensive, like either online classes or like in classes, but it would be also expensive to take these exams as well. So it may take months or years to get these certifications or licensing or to meet this Canadian licensing so that you can work in the same designation or same profile that you've been working in your country. But don't be disappointed. This is the initial struggles. You may eventually get into but this is about your first few years. So by this time, people may start their life with any jobs that are available. Mostly the jobs that pays minimum basic salaries or maybe a little bit more, but mostly where the certifications or experience may not necessarily required. So, but trust me, the amount you will be get paid always will align to the Canadian standards. So if you haven't watched this video about the wage and salaries or minimum wages, please consider watching this. So my personal suggestion is take the job as it comes to you and eventually get Canadian experience, improve yourself, network with people, and then move to new opportunities as it gets or as it's available. I think mostly this job search or job market affects the people coming as dependent. Especially if you are a student or if you are a foreign worker, your spouse will be a dependent here. And it will be even harder if you have kids to manage at home. For example, if you are taking shift, I think this is applicable for permanent residents as well. For example, if you are taking shifts in your job, like if you are a nurse or personal care worker, like your shifts will be different. Like it will not be consistent daily. So your partner has to find a job that fits into your schedule so that he can take care of the kids. So again, the job options are limited here. Even if you are not doing shift, but if you have kids, your partner has to work in the opposite shift compared to you, right? So your family time, your personal time will be affected in this initial year. These struggles will be like until your kids start schooling or daycare. But even if the kids goes to school, the school timings here are different. Like schools will be end by noon time. So there should be somebody who can take care of kids at home or anywhere else. So for working parents, it will be difficult. So these different schedules in working or the struggles in finding a job market will actually reduce your quality time with family in this beginning year. So trust me, things will get better as time goes. But these are the struggles you should keep in mind before moving. I think career satisfaction or dream job concept becomes like less important when it comes to the family concept or family happiness. So similarly, like some people who've been waiting to get into their same profession or to their related profession may spend a lot of their initial days on waiting. That is even make people frustrated or financially tight. So these are real struggles for a new immigrant. So now let's talk about Canada driving license and getting a car here. So if you already have a license from your country or maybe from any foreign countries, it will take at least 2 to 5 months to get a Canadian license. So you may have to go through a written exam first. And if you have a valid foreign driving license, you can take road test whenever you are ready. But if you don't have a foreign valid driving license, it may take another 1 year to give a road test here. And if you are a person with a international driving license, you may be eligible to drive in the initial 30 or I think it's 3 months, but after which you still need a Canadian license. All the students, especially students with no families here, may not be like able to get a car in their initial year. It's not because getting a car is really expensive, but it's because maintaining a car is really expensive, especially when it comes to the insurance cost. Insurance cost in Canada is really higher compared to other places. The insurance range here would be, for a new immigrant, would be 500 plus. So if a student gets a car immediately in their first year, like he may be, like if it's a single student, he may be paying insurance per month, which is more or equal to his rent. And the insurance would shoot up if you made or if you get a tickets from the police. So if you made over speed or any accidents, your insurance would go higher. Like it is not a single time penalty like in India. It would be a very high insurance rate for whole lifetime. By the way, a car insurance is mandatory in order to drive in road. In order to get a better insurance rate, it would count your Canadian driving experience. So some countries are able to convert their license to Canadian license. Definitely Asian countries are not in the list, but countries like New Zealand, Australia, Austria are in the list. And again, the list of the countries they can convert the license depends on each province. Every province has its own requirement about converting foreign license to Canada. So coming to daycares or schooling. So as I said in this video, schooling here in Canada are free. But the school timings are little different. So the schools will start from early morning to sometimes like afternoon. But daycares will be available like part-time and full-time. Like full-time means like 8 hours from some morning 7 or 8ish to around 4:30 or 5. But getting to a daycare is really difficult task. That has to go through a long waiting list. This will be even more severe like if your kid is like less than 2 years of age. And even if older than 2 year old, it may be long wait depending on the availability. So if you are waiting for a regulated daycare where the expense would be cheaper, it may take long wait time. But there will be unregulated daycares where the expense would be higher, but it will be comparatively easier to get into those daycares. The expense or the rate of daycares would be different in different provinces and cities. I know in some cities or big cities like Toronto, the daycares are really expensive. In my personal experience, a daycare here in Newfoundland is a little bit cheaper for regulated daycares. For a regulated daycare here in Newfoundland Labrador, now we are paying $15 per day. But I've been to another unregulated daycare earlier where we were supposed to pay $60 per day. So you have to pay this fees once you get registered, and even if kid is not going due to some sickness or illness. because daycare has limited spots. So even if your kid is not going, they have to meet their expenses for workers and the food. If you are already an immigrant to any of the countries like UK, Canada, US, if you're watching me, please do let me know what are the struggles you've been through.